TGCRequiem here. We are back with Abzan Traverse. We're in match 2 of our league. Looks like we're going to be on the play. This looks like a pretty good hand. We'll keep this. Opponent has mulligan to 6. I think we're going to just lead with Swamp here into Tarmogoyf. That's the general plan. That may change based on what we see. So our opponent has red mana, no white. We're going to get rid of Thalia here. Actually, are we going to get rid of Thalia, or are we just going to get rid of Displacer? Displacer actually can create a problem if they can get to it. I think all of our creatures... Well, Grimflayer might not threaten. Yeah, Thalia is going to threaten our Grimflayers for a little while based on what we have, so I think we're just going to go ahead and get rid of Thalia here. Opponent could... No, man, they got a... Yeah, they have just a really uncastable hand here. Not quite sure what we're playing against. Some sort of red-white Hatebears, I would assume. Although the Simian Spirit guys just kind of throw me off. Probably looking at a Blood Moon deck at this point. So I think we're actually going to fetch for a green. Or a, sorry, forest. Simian Spirit Guide usually means bad things. And then we may end up going Marsh Swamps for a path next. Looks like they're going to use a Simian Spirit Guide to get one of those Displacers down. A removal spell would be fantastic right now. Thoughtseize is okay. Could Thoughtseize plus Grimflayer. Possible we should Thoughtseize first here, but assuming the opponent's just going to take this one. Second Eldrazi Displacer is just going to hit the bin. So, unfortunately, we're still kind of in a tight spot. Displacer is going to be able to flicker our Tarmogoyf and still block Flare, although not if they're going to spend the mana to... What are they doing here? They just draw another Displacer, trying to play it off like they drew a Displacer. Destroy target non-basic land. So we could cast Marsh Flats if we wanted to. Blood Moon? What are we getting? Chalice for 1. Alright, so it's going to give us a free attack with Grimflayer, which might actually make our Grimflayers big enough to matter. We do not know what's in our opponent's hand, I don't believe, at this point. think we're just going to go ahead and attack first. Lingering Souls is pretty great. If we throw that in the graveyard, we can actually cast that right now. Fatal Push, also excellent. And Tarmogoyf, excellent. I think we're just going to go ahead and put Lingering Souls in the graveyard for now. Tarmogoyf on top. Push on top of that. And we're not actually going to play a land here. Or are we? Suppose we play the Godless Shrine. Yeah, that doesn't hurt. We can save the Marsh Flats to fetch away the to fetch next turn to kill the Displacer. Yeah, opponent just concedes there. So definitely some sort of red-white prison deck. Prison Hatebears style. Definitely have to be on the lookout for the Chalices and the Blood Moons. Definitely want to bring in a Reclamation Sage. It's possible we want Shriekmaw. Fulminator Mage I don't think is really necessary with what I was seeing there. Surgical Extraction may be worthwhile, but I don't know that it's truly necessary. Maelstrom Pulse for sure. So the concern we have here is we may have trouble getting double black. We saw quite a few creatures there, but I have to imagine the deck doesn't have that many creatures. But then again, if they're playing, they didn't really have any fetch lands, so it's very possible they're running Leonin Arbiter as well. With white, they very likely will have Rest in Peace. But we really need Traverse to try and help us. You know, we want Forest into Traverse to be able to go get to be able to go get our other basics. Liliana could potentially win the match on its own, but it's not really going to be able to kill a Leonin Arbiter or a... what's the other guy there? Eldrazi Displacer. Fulminator Mage would be able to be cast under Blood Moon. Yeah, I think we're actually going to pull... this Lily can be so good, though. If the game gets long and like nobody draws anything relevant, this Lily can just win. I think we actually want all the Lilies. I think Scavenging is probably pretty weak. I think we're going to actually cut a couple push, a Traverse. We're going down to that. We're just gonna hopefully get it in. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I want to do there. Thank God we got that in under the belt. Just a little nervous about black. I mean, we could find ourselves under turn 1 Chalice before we play our first land. We'll have a much better idea after seeing what our opponent does this turn. Opponent kept. So I feel like you're either going to expect turn 1 Chalice or turn 2 Blood Moon. I suppose it's possible turn 1 Blood Moon, but I don't think Swamp is where we want to be with these traverses. It's almost living in fear, but we almost need to do this. We can get Bauble. We could fetch for basics. I think I'm going to keep it. I think we just need a basic here. I haven't seen Blood Moon, but I'm going to play on the assumption my opponent is planning to Blood Moon me. That is not the basic I want. So I think we're going to go get a green-white land here. Green-black. Green-black, yeah. We're going to get the Overgrown Tomb, and we're going to traverse for a forest. And now with Swamp and Forest, we're a lot less under the gun. We're going to bauble our opponent during the upkeep, see what they have coming down the pipe. Anger of the Gods, that's not really concerning. Aether Hub. What the heck are we playing? Arbiter. Fine by me. So, I think... what do we do here? I really would like to traverse. We could probably traverse next turn. I think we actually pitch the Treetop Village here. It becomes a little bit of a liability on two axes, the one being that if we need a fourth land, we can't... I mean, if we play... It's not really... I guess that just means they're going to sacrifice. It's not really a liability. Suppose we could just Collective Brutality with Thoughtseize, but we really want the Thoughtseize. Collective Brutality can't take Blood Moon or Chalice. Tough decision here. Do we just run out the Thoughtseize, but then next turn, well, we could Brutality and Traverse, but then we don't have a creature. I feel like we need to put some pressure on the board. Tarmogoyf is more threatening. I think we're just going to run out the Grim Flayer here. Next turn we can run Collective Brutality and Thoughtseize if we want. Rest in peace. Should have Thoughtseized. Well, I think we're just going to start with a kill spell here. and then probably followed up with a Thought Seize. I think we'll get a little information here with Flare first, that way we know what's most important. Looking to get an Abrupt Decay if possible. That's beautiful. So we really want the Abrupt Decay, but more than the Abrupt Decay, we want to get a Liliana down, I think. So we're not going to throw any of these in the graveyard. These are all pretty excellent. I know about the opponent's Anger of the Gods already. Oh my. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. I think Displacer is the biggest problem here. We're not really worried about Thought Knot Seer on anything next turn. So opponent misses a land drop again. This is going to allow us to cast double Tarmogoyf next turn, going into the Abrupt Decay on the Rest in Peace. Assuming the opponent's going to pitch Athalia. Oh, they actually pitched the Anger there, so Anger, pretty good considering none of my creatures can grow right now. And again, we're still not too concerned about Thought Knot Seer. Wow, this is still just phenomenal. We're going to go Abrupt Decay first, Maelstrom Pulse, Grim Flare. Right, so we want to keep all these cards again. Pulse, Flare, Abrupt Decay. Opponent hits a land, they're going to get their Thalia now. I'll go ahead and kill the first one here. I think the question though is, do we want to blow up the Rest in Peace first? I think we do. That gets us a creature in the graveyard, makes the Tarmogoyf a little bit more powerful. Keep it coming. So we're going to put a Flats in the graveyard. And then we're going to leave the Maelstrom Pulse on top in case we want to cast it. Opponent hits a 4th land, so we're going to get to see a Thought Knot Seer here almost certainly. Bye-bye Tarmogoyf, but the Maelstrom Pulse will be a bit of a rude awakening. I suppose we could have turned our Grimflayer into a 4/4 there. Again, moving a little too fast. Opponent just concedes, and didn't look like they were going to have enough to close us out, so they're come back from that. We get another win, quick 2-0. So I definitely, this was more of a Hatebears deck, red-white Hatebears. That brings us up to 2-0 and 4-1 so far in the league. And if you enjoyed the match, there's another match. The next match in the league will be the link to the left. The link to the right is a link to a playlist for Abzan Traverse, which is a very good deck. I've been playing, doing pretty well with. And then if you'd like to subscribe, just click on my beautiful face there in the center. Have a good one.